What if the real mystery isn't simply whether you have the half moon? What if the deeper question is, what kind of half moon do you have? Where is it? How clear is it? Is it complete or is broken? What lines cross it? What markings appear around it? And most importantly, what happens when the half moon appears together with other unusual formations? Because palm reading doesn't treat every palm as identical, and spiritually, interpretations is often looking at the relationship between markings rather than one mark in isolation. And today, we're going much deeper. I'm going to take you through 21 hidden mysteries surrounding the half moon formation, beginning with things almost anyone can observe, and gradually moving toward the combinations and interpretations that are much less commonly discussed. And I want you to stay until the very end, because mystery number 21 isn't simply another meaning. It's the point where everything we've discussed begins to come together. So don't judge your half moon after the first 5 mysteries. Wait until you see the entire picture. But before we start, take care. Look at your palm carefully. And the me, if you have the half moon. Type yes in the comments if you have it. Let's begin. Number 1. What are you actually looking at? Before we talk about spiritual meanings, we need to identify the formation correctly. This is very important, because not every curved line on the palm should automatically be called a half moon. Your palm naturally contains many lines and creases. Some are major, some are minor. Some develop through the normal movement and folding of the skin, and some patterns can appear to resemble symbols that give special names. So, when you see a crescent-like formation, don't immediately say, I have the half moon. First, observe it. Is the curve actually forming a recognizable crescent? Is it connected to another line? Is it independent? Or is it deep? Is it faint? Is it symmetrical? Or does it only look like a half moon because of the way several ordinary lines intersect? This distinction matters, because the first mystery isn't what the half moon predicts. The first mystery is simply, are you actually looking at the formation you're trying to interpret? And once you've identified it, we can move deeper. 2. Why does one half moon look completely different from another? Now look at 2 different palms. You might find 2 crescent-like formations, but they may look nothing alike. One may be deep and obvious. Another may be extremely faint. One may be wide. Another narrow. One may appear beautifully curved. Another may look irregular. And this raises an important question. If the symbol is supposedly the same, why does its appearance vary so much? Most times we often pay attention to these differences. The interpretation isn't necessarily half moon equals one fixed meaning. Instead, practitioners may consider the quality and surrounding context of the marking. And this gives us our first major lesson. Don't read the symbol before you study the symbol. Look first, interpret second. Because your palm isn't a crossword puzzle where one symbol automatically equals one answer. It's a network, and we're only beginning to understand that network. 3. The clear half moon. Now, let's talk about the obvious one. The clear half moon. When a crescent-like formation is distinctly visible, it naturally attracts attention. In traditional spiritual interpretations, clearly defined markings are sometimes regarded as more symbolically significant than extremely faint ones. But here's where I want to slow you down. A clear marking doesn't scientifically prove that someone possesses special abilities. It doesn't prove supernatural power. It doesn't predict the future. But within the symbolic language of palmistry, clarity can be treated as an important characteristic. And that's why you shouldn't simply ask, do I have it? Ask, how clearly is it formed? Because that question takes us to the next mystery. For the faint half moon, what if yours is barely visible? Maybe you have to look very closely before you can see it. Maybe you noticed it only after someone pointed it out. Does that mean it has no significance? Not necessary. A faint marking may simply be considered less pronounced. But there's something else you need to understand. Your palm is not a permanent photograph. Lines and creases can appear more or less visible depending on lighting, skin condition, pressure, age, and other ordinary factors. So don't panic if your half moon appears weaker one day. And don't assume that a darker appearance automatically means some dramatic spiritual transformation has occurred. This is where responsible palmistry becomes more interesting than sensational palmistry. You observe, you compare, and only then do you interpret. But now, we come to something much more intriguing. 5. The broken half moon. What happens when the half moon isn't complete? You may see a curve, then a gap, then another continuation. This is one of the formations that can immediately trigger curiosity. Palmist may interpret interruptions differently depending on the marking and its location. But rather than declaring, a broken half moon means something terrible, I want you to think differently. A broken symbol is a question mark. It tells you, look closer. What causes the interruption? Is another line crossing it? Does the curve continue somewhere else? Is the apparent break actually caused by another crease? This is why simply searching for a one-sentence meaning can be misleading. The mystery isn't always inside the symbol. Sometimes, the mystery is in what is touching it, and that's going to become extremely important later. 6. The half moon's position. Now, we go deeper. Where exactly is your half moon? Don't just look at your palm as one flat surface. Palmistry divides the hand into different regions associated with different symbolic themes, so the location of a marking can influence how it is interpreted. And this is one of the biggest differences between shallow palmistry and deeper palmistry. Shallow palmistry asks, what does this symbol mean? Deeper palmistry asks, what does this symbol mean here? Same formation, different context. That's a completely different way of reading the palm. And we're going to take this even further. 7. What is around your half moon? Now stop looking directly at the half moon. Look around it. What else is there? Is another line nearby? Is there a triangle? A cross? A star-like formation? An unusual intersection? Or perhaps your half moon appears completely isolated. This is where palmistry becomes almost like reading a map. One symbol may attract your attention, but the surrounding landscape may provide the context. And if you've been looking at your palm and thinking, I have the half moon, so I already know what it means, I want you to reconsider. You may have been looking at only one piece of the picture, because mystery number 8 takes us into the first major spiritual interpretation. 8. The half moon and intuition. The half moon is often associated in spiritual and palmistry traditions with themes such as intuition, imagination, sensitivity, and inner perception. But let's define intuition carefully. Intuition doesn't necessarily mean you can predict the future. It can simply describe the feeling of recognizing something before you can fully explain why. That strange feeling of something doesn't feel right, or I can't explain it, but I feel like I should go this direction. Palmistry have sometimes connected unusual markings with these kinds of inner experiences. But whether that connection is meaningful for you is something you should explore through your own life rather than blindly accepting a prediction. And now we come to something even more fascinating, because intuition isn't always experienced while you're awake. Sometimes it appears when you're asleep. 9. The half moon and dreams. Dreams, one of humanity's oldest mysteries. Across cultures, people have attached spiritual meanings to dreams for thousands of years, and because the half moon visually resembles the moon itself, it's easy to understand why spiritual traditions might associate crescent-like symbolism with themes of night, imagination, dreams, and the inner world. But here's the question. Does having a half moon mean your dreams contain hidden messages? Dreams are complex psychological experiences, but symbolically, the half moon has been interpreted as representing a person's relationship with the inner world. So instead of asking, will I have prophetic dreams? Ask, how deeply do I pay attention to my inner experiences? That question is far more interesting, and it takes us to mystery number 10. 10. The half moon and emotional sensitivity. Sometimes spiritual interpretations connect crescent-like markings with emotional sensitivity. But sensitivity doesn't mean weakness. It can mean that someone notices subtle emotional changes, the tone of someone's voice, a change in atmosphere, a person's body language, a feeling in a room. Symbolically, the half moon can represent the idea of perception beyond the obvious. And now, we're approaching the midpoint. So far, we've examined the half moon itself. But from this point onward, we're going to start combining it with other clues, and that's where this gets much more interesting. 11. The half moon and the mystic cross. Now imagine your half moon appears alongside a formation identified as a mystic cross. This is where many palmistry interpretations become considerably more symbolic. The mystic cross has been associated with themes such as intuition, mystery, spirituality, and interest in the unseen. But here's the important part. Don't automatically assume that two symbols create some supernatural guarantee. Instead, think of it as symbolic amplification. The half moon represents one theme. The mystic cross represents another. Together, palmistry may interpret their combination as a stronger emphasis on spiritual curiosity and inner perception. But there's still another combination, and this one you've probably seen people talking about already. 12, the half moon, and the M sign, the famous M. Some people search for it. Some people photograph their palms looking for it. And some people believe it represents extraordinary destiny. But the M is another example where internet explanations can become exaggerated. The letter-like appearance can be created by the interaction of major palm lines. Palmistry gives various interpretations to those lines. So rather than saying M means you're destined to become rich, we need to go deeper. What happens when someone has a half moon-like formation and an M-like formation? Now you've got multiple symbols interacting, and this is where the palm becomes more interesting than a single viral claim. 13. The half moon is not the whole story. Here's one of the most important ideas in this entire video. Never build your entire interpretation around one marking. Your palm contains many lines, your hand contains many regions, and your individual experiences cannot be reduced to a single symbol. So if you have the half moon, don't ask, what does this one marking say about my destiny? Ask, what patterns can I observe across the entire palm? That shift alone takes you from shallow curiosity to deeper observation. And now, we move into the rarest part. Mystery number 14. Multiple unusual markings. Imagine seeing a half moon, a mystic cross, an unusual triangle, and several other distinctive formations. Suddenly, the palm looks completely different. But here's where many creators make a mistake. They pile meaning upon meaning until the palm sounds like a supernatural instruction manual. That's not what we're going to do. Instead, treat each marking as a symbolic clue. Then ask, do the themes overlap? If several traditional interpretations point toward intuition, reflection, imagination, or spirituality, perhaps the interesting story isn't that you have a magical palm. Perhaps the interesting story is that these symbols have historically been used to express human curiosity about the unseen parts of life. And now, we go deeper. Mystery number 15. When the half moon appears differently on each hand. This is another detail people often overlook. Look at both hands. Are they identical? Probably not. Your hands naturally have differences, and traditional palmistry systems can assign different interpretive roles to the hands. So don't just examine one hand and immediately declare, this is my destiny. Compare, observe, notice similarities, notice differences, and ask yourself, why does one hand appear different from the other? That question is more valuable than a sensational prediction. 16. The half moon and personal transformation. Now we move into one of the deepest spiritual interpretations, transformation. The moon itself has always been a powerful symbol of cycles. It appears, it grows, it becomes full, it disappears, and then begins again. So symbolically, a half moon can easily become associated with transition, growth, uncertainty, and becoming, not because the palm scientifically proves that you're undergoing transformation, but because humans naturally use symbols to describe experiences that are difficult to put into words. And perhaps that's one reason palmistry has remained fascinating for so long. It turns the hand into a symbolic language. 17. Why? The half moon may feel personal. Here's something interesting. Two people can look at the same symbol and experience completely different emotions. One person may see the half moon and feel excited. Another may feel afraid. Another may feel nothing. Why? Because symbols don't exist in isolation. We give symbols meaning through our experiences. So the deepest question isn't, what does my half moon mean? It's, what does this symbol make me reflect upon in my own life? And now, we're approaching the final 4 mysteries. These are the ones I want you to think about carefully. Mystery number 18, the biggest misunderstanding. The biggest misunderstanding about the half moon is believing that one marking can give you a complete description of your life. It can't. No single crease on your palm can scientifically tell you who you'll marry, how much money you'll make, when you'll die, or exactly what will happen tomorrow. So why study it? because palmistry can be approached as a symbolic tradition, a way of observing patterns, a way of reflecting, a way of exploring historical spiritual beliefs. And that distinction is extremely important, because mystery becomes much more powerful when you don't need to turn it into a false certainty. Now, number 19, what if you don't have one? Now you're looking at your palm and thinking, I don't have a half moon. Don't worry, this isn't a test. You haven't failed to unlock anything. Not having a particular formation doesn't mean you're less intuitive, less spiritual, or less important. Palm markings naturally vary, and this is another reason not to turn symbolic palmistry into a rigid system where people are divided into chosen and not chosen. Your palm is unique because your hand is unique, and that's enough. But there is still one more mystery, and this one changes how I want you to look at the entire subject. 20. The real mystery may not be the half moon. Think about everything we've discussed: the shape, the clarity, the location, the surrounding lines, the mystic cross, the Imlek formation, the differences between hands, the symbolism of dreams, intuition, transformation. And now, ask yourself, what if we've been asking the wrong question? Instead of, what does the half moon predict? What if we ask, why have humans always looked at patterns in nature, and even in their own hands, and searched for meaning? The moon, the stars, dreams, symbols, hands. People have always looked for connections between the visible world and the invisible questions inside themselves. And that brings us to mystery number 21. Now, to one, the deepest mystery. The deepest mystery of the half moon may not be what it predicts. It may be what it represents. A crescent is neither completely dark nor completely illuminated. It exists between two states, and perhaps that's why it has such powerful symbolic potential. It can represent becoming, transition, uncertainty, intuition, reflection, the part of life we understand and the part we don't. So, if you have a half moon on your palm, don't look at it and immediately conclude, this means I'm special. Instead, look at it and ask, what does this symbol make me curious about? Look at the rest of your palm. Look at your life. Look at your experiences. Look at the things you've learned. Look at the things you still don't understand. Because perhaps the greatest mystery isn't hidden inside the lines of your hand. The mystery is why we are so fascinated by the possibility that something about us can be written there. And now I want you to do something. Take a look at your palm. Don't draw on it. Don't add symbols. Don't exaggerate anything. Just take a close look carefully. Do you actually have a half moon formation? Is it clear, faint, broken? What other unusual markings appear around it? And if you want me to make a deeper video about the specific combinations of the half moon with the mystic cross, M sign, triangles, and other unusual markings, tell me in the comments, half moon combinations, because that could be our next journey. And if you stayed all the way to mystery number 21, you didn't just watch a palmistry video. You went from looking at one small marking to looking at the entire language of the palm differently. So the next time you see that little crescent on your hand, don't just ask, what does it mean? Ask, what else is around it? Because sometimes, the most interesting mystery isn't the mark itself, it's the patterns surrounding it. Share these mysteries to someone, and always stay connected to Spiritual Empire for more deeper mysteries.